He went to Persia to visit the King Artaxerxes. Siguro, for so long, he was away in Persia and with the king of Persia. Alam natin the beginning of this book, Nehemiah served as a cupbearer. No? Matagal siyang naglilingkod sa king Artaxerxes, and they were close. And this is the reason why the king has appointed Nehemiah to be the governor of Jerusalem para siya yung mga because he had gained yung respect at saka alam niya kasi yung maka-Diyos itong si Nehemiah. So, sa kabilang banda naman, tinignan nito ni Nehemiah, hindi niya nakalimutan what the king has done for him. So, after building the Jerusalem wall and supposed to be organized, yung Jerusalem city with different leaders and different people that he thinks na mapapagkatiwalaan dun sa Jerusalem. So he left to visit the king. Subalit, nakita natin, according dito sa scripture, pagbalik niya after his visit sa Persia, pagbalik niya ng Jerusalem, there is something went wrong. Yung bang, para bang ano lang halimbawa lang natin, para bang yung, katulad ng halimbawa ginawa ko, yung many years ago, bago umalis, para magbakasyon, inayos ang lahat, maganda yung despedida, pag-alis, and then nung umalis na kami, habang wala kami, there is something going on here, dito sa church. Parang ganun nangyari kay Nehemiah. He thought everything is organized, na mapagkakatiwalaan niya yung kanyang mga iniwanan. So, masaya siya umalis para bumisita sa King ng Persia. So, anong nangyari pagbalik niya? Ito ang nangyari pagbalik niya. Nehemiah, in chapter 10, the people pledged themselves to do all the commandments of the Lord, particularly mentioning those concerning marriage, the observance of the Sabbath, and the support of the work of the house of God. Ito yung tatlo na ito, ang importante, no? Na nakita natin, importante sa mga Hudyo na dapat nilang gawin. So in chapter 13 ngayon, Nehemiah returned from an absence in Babylon to find flagrant disobedience in each of these areas in the life of these people. Nakita niya, sa kanyang pagbalik, mayroong mga problema. Yung mga taong kanyang iniwanan, supposed to be, they promised to do everything well. Gagawin nila yung mga itinuro ni Nehemiah, but then, during his absence, it was not done. They did something else. Meron silang ibang ginawa. Ang unang ginawa nila itong infiltration. Makita natin sa verse 4 hanggang chapter 9, there was an infiltration happened while Nehemiah was not in Jerusalem. Kapag sinabi kasing infiltration, gagawa ka ng mga bagay na hindi mo pinapaalam sa tao o sa boss. Patago. Infiltration. Meron ganung klase nangyari. So, sabi dito, when Nehemiah came back to Jerusalem and found Tobiah living in the house of God, he was very hungry. Who is Tobiah? Why he was there living in the house of God? He was not supposed to be there. So while Nehemiah was not in Jerusalem, there was something wrong dito sa Jerusalem. And that is called the infiltration. So nangyari, the room given to Tobiah was supposed to be the store of grain offerings and etc. Marami, yung lahat ng mga tambakan, mga binibigay na tithes of corn, mga pananim nila, grains, different kinds of grain, doon natin inalagay, supposed to be in the house of God. And yet, this big storeroom for offerings, ginamit nitong si Tobiah. Para bang dito, dahil wala si Nehemiah, nagkaroon dito ng palakasan. Total, wala naman si Nehemiah. Sige, dito ka na tumira. Ito ang malaking room na ito. Mag-e-enjoy ka dito sa lugar na ito. Without giving or asking permission from Nehemiah. In other words, they took advantage the absence of Nehemiah para ipatira itong lugar na ito. As sabi nito, it was gross abuse of the temple for personal use. Pinagamit yung lugar. Supposed to be, tambakan yun. Asan na yung nalagay ngayon yung mga grains, yung mga tithes nila? Nakukolekta na, saan ba nalagay ngayon? Kasi, ginawang tirahan ito ni Tobiah. Mamaya, malalaman natin. Nasabi rito, si Tobiah had been an enemy of Israel. Sino ba siya? Kaaway ng mga Israel. Bakit nandun sa templo? Bakit pinagamit yung isang malaking lugar na ito, kwarto doon? Together with Sanballat, tried to stop the building of Jerusalem's wall and plotted Nehemiah's downfall. Now he became an enemy from Judah. Imagine natin yun. Kasama si Sanballat, si Tobiah, sila yung mga enemy, number one enemy to stop the rebuilding of the Jerusalem wall. And then all of a sudden, in the absence of Nehemiah, nandun bigla sa templo. Walang pasabi, kaya nga tawag ng infiltration. Talagang panakaw o patago na ginawa nila. How difficult it is. That is the good thing for Nehemiah. He can confront, he can approach people right there and there. Hindi na siya maghihintay pa ng matagal. Nire-review niya immediately kung ano yung nakitang mali at gusto niya i-correct na kaagad. That is the type of leader that Nehemiah has. So we learn his immediate and decisive action and also throwing away all the things that causes us to sin against God. That is the good thing na po pwede nating tularan kay Nehemiah. Napakagaling na leader nitong si Nehemiah nito. Ang sabi dito, Nehemiah returned to Persia and was away from Jerusalem for some time. When he returned, he discovered the Jews in Jerusalem had become lax in their moral and spiritual commitment to God. Kaya this chapter 30 records a number of these spiritual failures. And on the other side of this chapter, makikita natin from time to time, every portion of his writing And by the end of that portion, Nehemiah is talking to God. He was praying to God. No, ilang beses natin nabasa na? 4 times, 5 times. Siya nanalangin. Nakita niya yung andun kanyang desperation, kaya sabi niya, oh my God! Tapos sinasabi niya, look at ang nangyayari. Sa mga taong iniwanan ko, pinagkatiwalaan ko, tulungan mo ako, Panginoon. Yan ang gusto mangyari niya. Ang sabi dito, si Tobiah the Ammonite, along with Sanballat, the governor of Samaria, had earlier not reduced efforts at rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. And the grain that they have put in the storage, they use for the people. Alam niya ito. But when he left to visit the king of Persia, hindi na natuloy yung pagbibigay nila. Nakalimutan yung kanilang obligation sa Diyos. Nakalimutan yung obligation na sa templo. Siguro ang sabi ng iba, anyway, Nehemiah was not here, so I will not give my tithe. Anyway, Nehemiah was not here, so I don't care for the Levites and the sinners. Ibalik magutom sila. Total, wala naman si Nehemiah. And many times, it happens in the church today. It happens in the church today. In the Philippines, yung mga COG churches, during the pandemic, there is no gathering in the church. There is a live streaming, online service, and yet kung manonood ka, at the bottom of that screen, meron nakalagay, you can give your tithes and offering, or love gift. Nakalagay yung account number dun sa baba. Because people cannot go to church and give their tithes or offering. Or if they want to give love gift, they could not give. Because they are not allowed to go to church. So there is good. Merong mga ganong technology, through online, you can give your tithes. Are all the faithful tithers giving their tithes online? I don't know. I do not know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Sa atin kaya dito, during the pandemic, you are not meeting at the church. Wala tayong online giving, tithes. Where did we keep our tithes? Forget offering. Offering, wala naman tayong service. How about the tithes? Is it in the pocket? How did you manage? If you are really a faithful tither when we are gathering in the church, and without the gathering, where is the church? Where is the tithes? Dito sa situation natin dito sa Cyprus is different because whether we meet in the church or not, we still pay rent. Mabuti na lang, mabait yung landlord natin. Winave niya yung 2 buwan nung 2020 and then 2 buwan nitong December at saka January. That's a lot of money. 4,000 euros and 4,800 euros ang na-wave sarili. Kaya kung halimbawa, yung mga faithful tither ay tuloy-tuloy yung pagbibigay during the pandemic and then na-waive yung 4 months, hindi tayo nagbayad. Siguro, dahil ng pera ng church. Pero yung last report, hindi ganun karami yung pera. Diba? That means, maraming hindi nagbigay ng tithes. The same thing with the Israelites. When Nehemiah was not in Jerusalem, it looks like there is a pandemic. The people stopped giving their tithes. And it's because maybe, that big, large room supposed to be a place to put all their tithes, grains, and different kinds of vegetables or different kinds of grains. It was occupied by Tobiah, and they don't have place to put their tithes. Siguro sabi nila, wala tayong lugar. Inukupan ni Tobiah yan eh. Saan natin lalagay yung ating mga tithes? Wala tayong lugar. So hindi naman tayo magbibigay muna. But the Levites and the singers were still there. They are still working for the Lord. That needs to receive the tithes. So nangyari, na-review ito ni Nehemiah pagbalik niya. Now, sa atin, how can we honor God with our possessions? Are we faithful serving the Lord? Sabi dito, number 1, acknowledge that they are a blessing from God and thank Him for that. These are blessings from the Lord. Dapat magpasalamat talaga tayo kay Lord. Imagine, even during the time of pandemic, yung salary ninyo is continuous. Diba? Tuloy-tuloy yun. Except yung kay Melanie, sabi niya kanina, yung mga part-time niya natigil, hindi na siya nag-partfully. No. What does it mean proportionately? If you receive a salary of 100 euro, how much is the tithe? 10. That is proportionate. If you receive 400 euros, well, how much is the tithe? 40. That is proportionate. And if you receive 1,000 euro, 100 is the proportionate tithes. Hindi 10, hindi 40. 100. If you receive 1,000 and you give only 40, that is not proportionate. And then you give cheerfully. Hindi yung bibigay ka, bakit kasi nagka-church pa eh? Buti pang walang church, wala akong tithes. God knows our heart. Lagi ko sinasabi, how do you want God bless you? By gross income or by net income? Gross? Sino gustong net? I-bless ka ni Lord, net or gross? Gross. But when you give your tithe, do you give from gross or from net? Pero narinig din. I think it's a matter of being how deep is our relationship with the Lord, and deep being respect. Saan tayo kalalim ng respect? Ang sabi dito sa bandang huli, you see how God, sabi ni Nehemiah, talagang ibinless sila ni Lord. Those who are giving their tenth, their tithes, He blessed the people. Ang number one question natin dito, when you did not give your tithe, kung hindi ka magbigay ng yung tithes, is your problem financially solved? Minsan, nagreklamo tayo ng reklamo. Lord, faithful naman ako sa iyo. Pero bakit ngayon, hanggang ngayon, naghihirap ako? The way I see it, tagal namin sa ministry, from 1992, nandito na, hanggang ngayon, the way we see it, those who are facing financial difficulties, normally, the way we see it are those who are not faithful in giving their tithes. Those who are not faithful. Okay, for those who are faithful in giving, are you facing problem financially? Yung mga faithful tither. Are you facing normally no eh. Sa mga nakita ko talaga, they were blessed. Because when they give their tithes, they give it cheerfully. Yes, Lord. Hindi na kasi mangot. Hindi nagsisisi. Talagang, Lord, this is for you. Bless this, Lord. Madalas kasi, we are using our possession in a wrong way. Kung tutuusin mo yung mga pagkakagastusan talaga, dami, kulang naman talaga yung pera. Kaya lang, are your problems solved when you don't give your responsibility as a Christian? Alam niyo dito, I will not mention names, but perhaps some of you here knows them. Sila yung yung matagal dito sa Lasal Church, naging part ng dito na matagal. Ang sweldo nila talaga is eksakto lang. Noong time na yun, mga 300 lang ang sweldo. But, siguro, I am not claiming yung because nandito sila, but I believe from their church in the Philippines, they were already faithful in giving their tithes. Sakim sa pera. Di ba rin hindi makapagsimba? Basta makapag-part-time. Ayoko sabihin sa inyo, greed kayo or greedy. But this is what happened to the Israelites when Nehemiah wasn't there. They ignored the law. They ignored yung kanyang pagbibigay ng If Sabbath is not being kept, they are violating God's laws. People are robbed of proper rest and recreation. Desecrating the Sabbath day, God's people were allowing their business interest and their desire for the things of the world to destroy obedience to God's command to make the Sabbath day of rest. New Testament believers must constantly beware of the temptation to allow the pursuit, riches, and success to absorb their desire to honor and worship God as He commands. We must seek first the kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added. Seek first